You just look. An ordinary purple guy, and the most stupid in addition. Do not listen to it. His opinion is to the ass. Look at his opinion. Is it possible to think so in 2025th year? Blogging inquisitors are theatrically indignant. But if you listen to the subtext of their words, in fact they broadcast my opinion, the only true one. And I deserve your attention. Switch to my channel. This is no longer criticism, gentlemen, but the struggle for your views under the mask of the struggle for justice. Stop. Just stop for a moment. Doesn't it seem suspicious that the number of channels specializing in exposures is growing exponentially? And their goals are always chosen according to the same principle: popularity and the absence of the opportunity to effectively defend themselves. Let's prepare this phenomenon by destroying it into the components of the elements, but first, let's start small. Having spent tens of hours analyzing the video of popular exposures, I revealed the pattern. An impeccable visual series, professional installation, turning drama up to a second, but this is an impeccable technical shell. Often hides an amazing emptiness of content. Here I offer you a small experiment. While watching the next revelation, mentally translate the entire pathos of the author into a simple language. You will be surprised, but the message usually comes down to primitive. This blogger is an idiot, and I am a genius. Yes, subscribe to me, lol. Do not notice this? Marvelous. After all, this ambassador literally screams between the lines, although he skillfully disguises himself behind science-like terms and effective visual transitions. Directly, most of these revelations are pure hype content. This is important. It is hype content, not just water. Water will be everywhere, and it is even normal. But usually I call this phenomenon a modern form of digital propaganda. A minute of information. Propaganda. This is when someone is trying to kill you, think in a certain way beneficial for him. They tell emotional stories, show bright pictures, or constantly repeat the same words, so that you believe that their point of view is the only right one. In simple words, this is like advertising, but not goods, but ideas. For example, if you look 100 times that the Arabs are not sitting on the online, you can begin to believe it, even if it is not true. Although not sitting on the online, I even have 2 friends there. The main thing is propaganda plays on emotions, and not rely on facts and logic. Well, not for slaves for sure. Let me say, the defenders' worshippers will say. They also give screenshots, quotes, and good evidence. So, let's be honest, I analyzed dozens of such videos in detail, and in most cases the evidence base is amazingly weak. What exactly the accused person is so terrible? Here's the question: to what? If we were talking about real crimes, then yes. But often the crime consists only in expressing an opinion that distinguishes from the opinion of the reviewer. I like the exposure, everything, it's time to do vetoes. Modern exposure is an absurd digital theater. Impeccable directing, dramatic musical accents, professional tempo rhythm. But when it comes to the actual justification of the accusations, it usually comes down to subjective assessments. By the type of, his opinion is wrong, he is poorly versed in the topic, or he behaved unworthy. With this criteria for correctness, competence, and advantages, the exposure itself is established. But there are useful revelations, they will object to me. For example, about fraudulent schemes, or about dangerous Minecraft launches, or about some programs. Who has what content? I absolutely agree. But real investigations are important and necessary. The problem is that many of today's experts, if we call them that, these are self-taught who superficially study the topic, provides themselves as professionals, imagine themselves to a person who has read a couple of articles about medicine and now impersonates the surgeon. When I read a couple of books, I accidentally cut my heart to a friend and inserted it instead of the kidneys.
The main thing is that he is alive.
If you need help, call. Many experts in technical or legal issues look approximately the same. They lack a deep understanding of the subject. But this does not prevent them from judging others. On my channel, by the way, there are 2 Vidasics who are completely verified.
But usually many exposure are inserted by advertisements. But I have no advertising, you can completely analyze. If you find an advertisement, at least indicate the time code at least.
To think about it, what, you are a fool or not? Excuse me, many people wrote that I am advertising, but no one writes the question of what exactly I advertise.
The morons are over, in short.
Criticize my video. Do not agree with my opinion. It should be your right. But you must admit, at least not hiding your character and intentions. I'm not trying to seem white and fluffy to like you. I just share my thoughts, even if they contradict the popular trend. There is an old wisdom. The wider and more welcoming the stranger's smile at the first meeting, the more attentive should you look closely at his real intentions. Most of the exposures begin their videos with the image of a fighter for the justice and defender of children. But it is worth considering if this noble mask masks as much more prosaic motives, or not. And by the way, tired of being followed by you?
Not a problem. For you, I have prepared a special solution.
Mobile VPN. Fully free, many servers around the world and complete anonymity.
They simply do not collect logs.
Do they need it? And it is ideal for Android and iPhone. And the easiest to use.
You just look at one advertisement, and that's it.
Please use any server. That is,
you can be in France, Germany, Hong Kong, in China.
I don't know what servers there are,
but to be honest, they are very cool.
However, the question,
and what if I'm at the computer? Moni VPN is not available for computers.
Not a problem.
For this, HideExpert VPN is suitable for you.
Special protection.
It works on any devices.
Android, iPhone,
high
Windows
speed to
1
Mac
gigabit
OS,
per
Chrome.
second. Built-in ad block.
And most importantly, for security protocols.
Well, damn it, he is paid. Well, you can use a free of course option. But I want speed, isn't it? But there is good news for you.
I stole a couple of promotional codes on HideExpert VPN. And what is the peculiarity of these promotional codes?
Well, they give a week a premium of access. Only here is the problem. It is limited, in terms of quantity. So, follow the link in the description, download HideExpert, well, if you need him so much.
Or you can download Moni VPN.
However, if those who will download HideExpert VPN can take one promotional codium, so hurry up, it's not too late.
Seriously, damn it, hurry. And now the Arabs will run and you will steal you.
Perhaps, this will sound for the contradictory, but many developers actually encroach on the fundamental law of a person. Freedom of expression.
They broadcast the post.
This person does not have the right to express publicly, because I consider his views to be wrong.
Has he renamed?
Okay, Marmalade here. Yes, perhaps he made mistakes in his assessments. Perhaps his position on some issues is controversial. But is this a crime? He did not rape anyone.
He tried me, but it did not work out. He chained me, in short, to the bed. This is a long story. I won't tell you better. It is probably not interesting to you. 100%.
But he has every right to his own opinion, even if it contradicts the mainstream. Perhaps in some situations he compromised with his principles, but which of us did not do this? Those very exposures who today attack many bloggers with righteous anger, tomorrow they themselves can be in their place.
I do not pretend at all for impeccability, and in general my installation is not very cool, like many.
I'm just LGBT sexy.
Instructor from NATO.
Let's just conduct a small experiment. Analyze the ending of once again, any revealing video.
What will you find there?
Right. The call to subscribe to the author's channel, turn on notifications, like, speaking directly and without accusations, under the mask of the struggle for justice, a banal strategy for luring the audience is hidden. While such content generates views and attracts subscribers, it will flourish.
This is not a conspiracy, but a simple economy of attention.
The only thing that can leave such a stream is the natural saturation of the audience with the same type. Sooner or later, the audience will get tired of endless revelations and require something more substantial. It is noteworthy that most of the exposures have amazingly versatility.
Today they are experts in programming, tomorrow monetization of content, the day after tomorrow is generally in the legal intricacies of copyright. Or they're at all.
At the same time, they carefully hide the shortcomings of their own content, exposing themselves to an impeccable moral authority. There is a gold rule of media consumption. If the blogger positions itself as absolutely honest and crystal pure, turn on the skeptics to the maximum. Most often, such self-presentation hides a much more complex and ambiguous reality. When many bloggers get to the sites of the exposure, it is very popular, and such have lost popularity, quite grams.
An example, Visa or Vlad Super. I know that you have heard the peak now.
But believe me, YouTube can fear me for this.
Therefore, we defend ourselves to an extreme.
The attack mechanism is always the same.
The statements are pulled out of the context.
It is interpreted in the worst possible light, and any mitigation of circumstances is ignored.
This is not an analysis, but a manipulation.
Everyone has the right to error, to evolution of views, to ambiguous assessments. The blogger is not a politician who makes decisions affecting millions of lives. He just expresses his position on the topic or other issues. And in a democratic society, this is integral, even if the expressed opinion is contrary to dominant ideas. The phenomenon of revelations can be talked endlessly, analyzing the psychological, economic, and social aspects. The main thing to understand is that behind beautiful words of justice, elementary disrespect for the right of others is often hidden, to the right of other people to have and express their own opinion. If tomorrow the criticized blogger shuts up, the world will not become better or fair. He will simply become poorer a few votes. Pluralism, opinion, and variety of positions are value, not a threat. The root of the problem lies not as content, but in critical deficits of independent thinking among spectators. Many people prefer to delegate the right to evaluate the next exposure, instead of forming their own position. Spectacular installation and honed rhetoric are captivated, but they should not replace your own analysis. If you give up the habit of independently evaluate the information, you risk becoming a puppet in the hands of more loud and persistent voices. Do not let anyone, neither me nor other bloggers, decide for you what is right and what is not. Your right as a viewer to choose what content to consume and what opinion to trust. But keep intellectual autonomy. If you like a certain blogger, but they suddenly begin to massively criticize it, do not rush to join the witch hunt. Weigh the arguments, evaluate the evidence, and make the decision yourself. The choice is always yours, and not for those who are loudly screaming about justice. To everyone who watched to the end, sincere gratitude for attention and time. Take care of your mind and do not succumb to manipulation. See you and until new adventures. Bye-bye.